Newcastle United won an FA Cup in 1954-55 season, and if you don't include the Intertoto Cup as well as a couple of other minor trophies, then that is the last major trophy that Newcastle United have won. And this is why I'm doing this video today, because as you can see, Newcastle have amassed 21 points after 12 games, winning 5, drawing 6, losing 1. Currently in 4th spot, the best they've been in 10 years. But because of how big the fan base is, as well as the fact that they've won so little in the last 70 years, they have had this moniker of Sleeping Giants. In this video, I'll be discussing 4 of the teams as well as Newcastle. But if you haven't already, please can you go and subscribe to this channel? I do appreciate all the subscribes I get, as well as the likes and the comments below. And if you have any other suggestions on Sleeping Giants, which I will discuss the terminology of in a second, then any comment will be appreciated. I do love the likes and the subscriptions I'm getting. I'll just throw this up again. There you go. So obviously, like I said, what is a sleeping giant? Now, there are a few ingredients which a club qualifies as a sleeping giant. It's on the screen right now. They are traditionally a big club who have suffered from a fall from grace, dropping down the league, and sometimes out of the league. Newcastle obviously qualify for that because in 2010 they did drop out of the league for the first time in years. They've never been below the second tier. They've won 3 titles overall. I'll say titles, like that's the biggest one. 5 FA Cups, a Charity Shield. Like I said, they've never dropped out of the Championship, and 4 of the Championship titles as well. But for a club that's so big, it makes sense why they're sleeping giants. And I hope in the next few years that they will break that curse and they will become a top 6 team, because their fans certainly deserve it off the misery that they've had. But I think that I'll be saying the same for every other club in this video. So next up on the list is Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday were last in the Premier League in 2000, the 1999-2000 league, where they spent most of that season in the bottom 3. But they have spent most of their 155 years in the top flight. However, in the last few years, they've been in and out of League One and the Championship ever since, under the Chancery ownership. However, in 2014-15, they did flirt with the Premier League, losing to Hull City in the playoff final, sadly. But since then, they've been nothing but a decline in the team. And for Hillsborough to be 39,732 in capacity, it's a sleeping giant. It can't be anything but that. They are currently in League One. They were 4th last season and just missed out to another team that I'll be discussing in a second, which a bit of a clue. But yeah, they can't be anything but a sleeping giant. Next on the list, we have Aston Villa, who were founded in 1874, which is 144 years ago. They are currently 5th in the all-time English top flight table, amassing 7 Premier League titles, or first division titles, 2 Championship titles, 7 FA Cups, 5 League Cups, a Charity Shield, and most importantly, a Champions League or / European Cup in 1981-82, as well as the Super League in 82. They are known as one of the first English sides to win or especially the British side to win the European trophy back in 82. But since then, they've not really amassed much. A capacity of 42,749. I'll just get it written down here. But they dropped out of the Premier League in 15-16, having been one of the founder members of the Premier League, as well as a founder member of the Football League in general. And their best finish since 2010 is an 11th place finish a couple of seasons ago. This screams a sleeping giant, doesn't it? Obviously, like we said at the start, it's dropping out of the leagues and sometimes out of the league like Aston Villa have. And you can't say they haven't done anything but massively underachieve. Next on the list, we have Sunderland AFC. I've only just realised they're called AFC. Founded in 1879, 143 years ago, and a capacity of 49,000. The Black Cats, as they are known, have been a sleeping giant for a number of years. They have amassed 6 league titles, 5 championship titles, which is the second division, 2 FA Cups and a Charity Shield in that time. But for a team with nobody around them apart from Newcastle and a capacity of 49,000, sometimes which they get in League One in the last few seasons, is huge. And they're a team that are completely underachieving. just for the best part of a decade. And obviously, we had them under a microscope under the Sunderland Till I Die documentary, which they recorded the double relegation that they got in 17-18, having gone down to League One and spending 4 seasons struggling to get back into the Championship alone, never mind the Premier League. And yeah, it's a clear indication that this team, as well as the other couple and a couple of more that I will discuss, are a sleeping giant. I'm sure I'm going to miss a couple of others out of this this video, but like I said before, sleeping giants all around the country. You know, next on our list is Everton FC. Now, they were founded in 1878, 144 years ago, and being a founder member of the Premier League as well as a founder member of the Football League, they've got the second continuous top flight run in the league, only second to Arsenal, as well as having most of their seasons in the top flight, amassing 118 seasons in that time. And they've also got the third most top flight points. Now, you could say this is a team that has a rich history, has a very good history in league titles. Now, they have, which is 9 titles in the top division, as well as 5 FA Cups, 9 Chariot Shields, and a 1 European Cup Winners' Cup. You could also say that's like a bit of a minor cup, but it's a cup in itself. And the fact that their best finish since the Premier League has started is 4th, and that's 1 season. Every other season has been between 7th and 17th, almost going out of the league a couple of times. They've spent 695 million since 2015, which is imperilous, isn't it? It's porous. It's abject. It's so depressing seeing how much Everton has spent over the last few seasons and done so little with it. And this, I will say, if Newcastle get into the top 4, Everton have the right to be the biggest sleeping giant because they are huge. They have 100% attendance every season, and they're building a new stadium, which is about 60,000 to 70,000, isn't it? So I think Everton, out of the teams that we have spoken about today, are the biggest sleeping giant because they have done nothing since the Premier League has started. And I don't know who else could even break that. Maybe a Leeds, maybe a Forest, maybe a Huddersfield or Rovers. I'm not too sure. But this is to you guys. This is a question I have for you guys. I've just named a few. I've just named a few facts, and I've got a little slideshow here. Who do you think the biggest sleeping giant are in the Premier League, in UK football, or let's go out to the world? I haven't done as much research for the world. Who is the biggest sleeping giant in the world? I'd like to know in the comments below. But this is a little bit different for me today. It's taken a few takes and a few outtakes. I might include them at the end. I might not. I'm not too sure. They're a bit boring, to be honest. It's just me cursing to myself. But if you have enjoyed this video, please can you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and like I said before, comment below. And I will see you next time. So cheers, guys. Peace.